What feels like 6 years later, the engineer finally got buffed. But is he too good? Let's find out. Alright guys, so we just loaded into a match here, and we're going to be comparing this like engineer cameraman, like it's a new buff form, and then they actually just released like basically a new engineer type guy, and we're going to kind of like throw him into this and try to show you guys like which one's better, if the engineer is better, worse, you know, if the buff really helped him out, or if it really was like nothing at all. We're going to find out in this video, so stay tuned, make sure you watch till the end. So the first thing that we got to determine here is, well, how are we going to get money? Because this is the real TTD, because unfortunately guys, on the like test servers, the partner servers, these updates have not been implemented quite yet, because always there's like a little bit of a delay. So yes, we are in the real TTD today, which is going to be something quite different, because you know, my last couple of videos I've been over there spouting myself in some extra money to kind of help speed up the challenges, which is really nice and very useful. So can't do that here, but that's okay, because what we do have is $300, and luckily for us, the engineer is still super cheap. They did not make him more expensive. As you guys can see, he only costs $200, which is literally nothing at all. Now, the first thing that I can tell here is it looks like the initial ally health is 100 more than the original. So this buff, if that's like the progression of this buff, guys, this buff is literally nothing. But yeah, I don't know. It's not looking like the buff did all too much. But hey, you know, we'll give it a chance for right now. We'll see if, you know, throughout the match it gets any better, which I'm really hoping it does, because if it doesn't, then that's just stupid. No, you know, why even buff him if you're not going to make him better at all, right? But let's find out. You know, we can't judge quite yet, guys. We got to get into the match a little bit here and see what happens. So I believe in the past you could only spawn in 4 engineers. So we're also going to determine to see if like that was changed at all, because you never know, guys. That could also have been changed. So we're going to figure this all out. The first upgrade, let's get that going, just because if I get that, then I should be safe here, at least for the first couple waves. And yeah, this is going to be basically like a little spawners only type challenge, but I might have to use a mewing TV man, you know, just in case here, because as you can see already, we're kind of getting overran a little bit. So I'm just going to toss this guy down. Just ignore the fact that I have him there, because we're not going to try to use too many of those. But in real, like, you know, in all honesty here, like in reality, I just want to kind of compare like the stats of like, you know, a maxed out engineer compared to the other guy, and then we're going to kind of see what's going on. So as we can see here though, basically the ally health goes up to 60,000 now, and the ally DPS is 4,000. So if my memory is correct, the ally health before was 50,000 and the ally DPS was 2,000. So the buff is not that good, but we're still gonna test them out and see what happens. The next thing that I wanted to try is he buffable with the DJ TV man? Now let's find out. He is not. That is definitely in the circle, guys, and he does not get buffed by the DJ TV man. So in all honesty, the engineer still sucks, because let me tell you why, guys. Okay, once again, very rare unit. We just talked about this weirdly enough a week ago, and I don't know if they watched my video, but then they ended up buffing him literally in the next update, so that's pretty epic. But regardless here, he still sucks. I hate to sound like I'm always complaining about this game, but I'm just trying to do this for you guys, so you get your money's worth out of these expensive units that y'all spent so much money on. I even spent a little bit of money trying to get the engineer, and as you guys can see here, I was lucky enough to get him in the real game. So W in the chat and comments for that. But he still sucks. Literally, guys, this streamer unit is 400 Robux, 399, I think, right? You see that green circle that this guy has? Well, basically, with that, not only is he a spawner unit, as you can see here, his first initial spawn literally does 2,000 damage, okay? With 2,000 HP. He's a flyer, so you can get any of the flyer type units. Second of all, he's a healer. He unstuns. And on top of that, he actually, I think, has some sort of cooldown ability. I don't know if that's from this guy or whatnot. I think it might be from the DJ TV man. So he actually gets boosted, which means his cooldown for, you know, spawning in the guys, which is actually a little bit longer than the engineer, as you guys could, well, it doesn't even say that in here for the stats, which is weird. Oh, never mind. Yes, it does. It says 20 here. So actually, I don't even know how that really works here, to be honest with you guys. I don't know why the cooldown. I think the cooldown's talking about for healing, in all honesty. So let's get this guy upgraded. And as you can already see, just a couple upgrades, he's already like way better, which is just crazy enough. And then, you know, his spawners start to do a lot more HP, like a lot quicker. But, you know, obviously this guy, the engineer is pretty cheap, so you can't go wrong with that if you just upgrade him a couple times here. As you can see, he's pretty cheap to upgrade to get to a lot of power, which is definitely a good thing. I mean, the thing though is, which something I can't test right now, because I was trying to have one of my teammates, shout out to Nightmare, but he dropped a 100 bomb on my stream the other night. So I was trying to get him into this challenge, but unfortunately he lives in Australia, and I'm filming this when it's probably like, I don't know, midnight for him. So big rip in the chat for that. But anyways, I wonder if the engineer is boosted if you bring in more teammates, because in my opinion, guys, every time you bring in another teammate on your team, this guy should be twice as good. So instead of having 60,000 health, it should have 120. And then it goes up. And, well, I guess each time you bring in a teammate, it should bring in another 60,000 health onto your units. And the reason I say that, if you are, wondering for whatever the reason may be there, it's because, whenever you bring in extra teammates, the enemies get harder. So I think your units should get better if your enemies are going to get harder. You guys kind of catch my drift there? You feel what I'm saying? Because I think that makes sense. I think that makes perfect sense. I don't know why he's still not getting boosted and all that great stuff. I think that they really, really need to like rewrite the code of this guy. Maybe the coding is an issue to go back and like make him like, boostable and stuff like that. Because I know that was a problem with a lot of the other units. So that very well may be the problem of this guy, and we just don't know. So I'm hoping, guys, that he gets a buff for us because, like I said, it's crazy how a unit that you spend like $5 on is way better than a unit that people could have possibly spent, hundreds, because it was a gambling type unit. Whereas, pay to win, I mean. So, yeah, I don't know. A little risky. Now, back in the day, though, the one good thing about the engineer is you actually used to be able to win free crates. And then they took that method out because of people like, because people are always cheating in life. So they had to remove that feature from the game, which sucked. That and codes. We got rid of codes and that other OP feature. So that really stinks, guys. But, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Hopefully, I make ranting videos. Hopefully, they watch my ranting videos. And hopefully, they make changes so that you have a better playing experience. But what I will say is he's fully maxed out. And as you can see, yep, it's 60,000. And, the cooldown, for some reason, I think on the thing here, it says the cooldown starts at 20. It goes down to 15. In reality, the cooldown goes from 15 to 20. So they got that backwards as well. Makes no sense there. They got that info in the thing wrong. So hopefully they change that because it makes it seem better than it truly is. It actually gets worse as it goes on. It takes longer to spawn in, which I think makes sense. I just think that they should fix it so it's actually accurate information. But see, these tanks only have 10,000 more HP. And in my opinion, that's still just not enough. Let's get this guy upgraded as much as we could now. Now, the bad thing about this dude, though, is something that is a little bit more on the interesting side here. Something that the engineer does have going for itself, which is the fact that these units, see like the large streamer drone type guy here, the thing with him is they only spawn where he is. So, like, the engineer, when he spawns in a unit, it spawns at the back of the track, which is actually amazing. But like I just said, if you're using the streamer guy, sadly enough, they spawn right here at the front. So that is not ideal in, any regards, but it's just kind of the world we live in here. So what we got to deal with, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully some big changes are coming to the game here where maybe they'll, end up seeing this video or something like that and hopefully buff the engineer just a little bit more. Now, like I said, I don't know because I don't have my teammate here if it gets buffed when there's an extra teammate. If it doesn't, that really needs to be the feature that is implemented for it. If it doesn't, or if it does, then I guess it's much better now because the engineer, don't get me wrong, guys, is very good as a solo player, okay? Let me just make that perfectly clear here. Yes, I understand that it's very good, but if you're playing with any teammates, which you have to for like high run games, you're never going to bring him in because he's just not good enough. He just starts to be just a waste of a teammate slot on your team. So you don't want that, right? No one wants a wasted troop on their team, especially because you can only have 6 guys on your team at once. So you don't want to be doing that. That's just a, terrible idea, terrible plan, right? So there's definitely something that needs to be done with him, in my opinion. Something more. I know, I can never be happy, guys. You're right. I can never be happy. I always see in the comments, he's always complaining. LT is just a yapper and complainer. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to make your time better. You're the ones that spent money on it, not me. I mean, I spent like a little bit, but like, I was lucky enough to get it. I mean, imagine spending $500 and then finally getting it and then like realizing like, oh, this unit sucks. what is it gonna do? Oh, just sit in my inventory and collect dust. And then a year from now, this game's gonna be dead. And then you guys are minus $500. No cool unit to show for it. He's trash. And you moved on to the next game. So yeah, I'm just trying to help y'all out here, all right? But yo, look at this. See, the mega streamer drones too. Another cool thing is something that I feel like they, you know, if they are going with this balancing type stuff here, they did at least get the balancing correct on that. They didn't make him like stronger than the tanks. If they made the streamer drones stronger than the tanks, then there was really something wrong with this game. But still, once again, I think that the streamer drone is better because, well, once again, he's also considered a medic. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, how could you disagree with that, right? And also, his beams here, they do 5,000 DPS. So you get a couple of these things like together like this, I mean, we really start to cook these enemies down. Look at that. I mean, they have 1.7 million HP. That's not bad. Like, that's pretty darn solid. So, you know, in this match, guys, I just want to see kind of how far we could actually take this with using such, like, you know, weird and random units here. So, of course, you already know I'm going to get down all my other engineers. Sucks that they're going to get stunned a little bit, but the one good thing about them is even if they get stunned, it doesn't really matter. The engineers still spawn. So that's, you know, a plus side of having engineers on your team. Here we go with this little flying dual buzzsaw. That is the boss, but once again, the boss, he thinks he's tough, but he's about to run into 3 tanks, and tanks are just going to tear him apart. No big deal. Got some buzzsaws as well, but once again, still, you know, they don't know what's coming, but they're about to run into some tanks, and it's not going to feel so good. Boom, there's the tank. Just took him out, so beautifully done, guys. Let's see how far we can make it in this match. Let's see how good the spawner squad is going to take us here. Now, I would ideally love to have a Chief Clockman and then the camera attack guy, but then I wouldn't have really any spots for extra units that could help out. So that'd be a bad idea if you ask me. So that's why I don't have those necessarily. But, you know, if you're playing and you have a Chief Godly, bring him in because it's going to increase your range. So the range will likely increase on the streamer cameraman because he's able to get boosted, as you guys can see here, by the minus 15%. So that means that, you know, if you do that boost, you're gonna have more like unstun radius. As you can see, that green circle is pretty teeny tiny small, so you get a little bit more radius on that, then he's gonna be even a more effective like unstun unit. So just keep that in mind, guys, if you you know, are planning on using him. I think that's a fairly smart move. Now, another thing here with this guy though is you don't necessarily have to put him next to your guys. Like for me in this case, you know, I'm going to probably because I have that Astra there and some other stuff, but like, you don't need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could get him back here by all means, but just remember, then he's not really considered a unstun unit. I mean, yeah, he still has the ability, of course, but I mean, if you have him all the way back here, then he's really not going to be too helpful to you. So just keep that in mind. And also on top of that, he's not really getting affected by the DJ TV man. So his cooldown will be, you know, that 1 second. But once again, I think that 1 second is actually just a cooldown of the, whatchamacallit. Oh, wait, why are we stopped here? Is he bugged? What the heck? I don't know why he's not moving, guys. That's kind of weird. Goofy. That was kind of goofy. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, there we go. We just died. So we got to wave 38. So, you know, as you guys can see here, spawner units, let me tell y'all, I recommend to stay far, 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 far away from spawner units. Don't waste your gems on getting the engineer. If you have one, great, keep it. You know, trade it away. You know, if you're a big collector like me, I like to have it just to collect it. But outside of that, still trash. He's not OP. The buff was not enough after waiting what feels like I said at the beginning, guys, 6 years. All for that. Yikes. But anyways, hey boys, before we wrap up this video, if you made it this far, you guys deserve to get entered into a giveaway. So if you want to do that, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure you comment your Roblox username. And before you click off this video, head on over to my website, which is called ltcrazy.com. Should look just like this. Click the giveaway button right here on the bottom right there. And then once this page loads up, scroll on down, boys. And you're going to notice the big ultimate giveaway here. So click use your email. And once this pops up, just enter your Roblox name, email, and agree to the rules. And then enter your tickets, whatever ones you want to do. Also, don't forget, this is also a value website. I got the values of all the units on here. The new ones, I'm going to plan on adding those very shortly, probably tonight. So you'll see the new units on here soon. Okay, guys? But other than that, you know, everything past before episode 74, all on here. And yeah, that way you guys have good trades and don't get scammed. All right. So with that being said, happy trading. And I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.